Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me for our latest Railbookers webinar, which we're going to look at our holidays to the Mediterranean, Spain, and beyond. My name's Sam. I'll be talking to you through some of these holidays today. And specifically, we'll be looking at some of the top holidays that are booking now. There seems to be a bit of optimism out there, a bit of anticipation that hopefully we'll be able to travel again, perhaps this summer or later this summer. And we're getting a lot of inquiries now for trips down to France, Spain, into Italy. As I say, a bit more optimism in the air. So hopefully I can give you some inspiration to think about what you might like to do once we're all able to travel again. So we're going to spend the first few moments, as we always do, just looking at Railbookers as a company, what we offer. If you have been on one of our presentations before, then please do indulge me for these first 5 minutes. You'll have seen this before, but really this is for those of you that haven't been on one of these webinars before, so you can learn a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Firstly, though, I do just want to mention that we're offering a sale, £500 off per couple on any of the holidays that you see today, and actually any holidays over 5 nights. We're offering a promotion on at the moment. This is running until the end of this week. £500 off per couple, or £250 per person if you're traveling as a solo passenger, of course. So that applies to all holidays today, as I say, and on all holidays across this year and next year as well. So just have a look at why some customers come to Railbookers. I think that top middle point that's very important right now. We can book for travel from today to 2 years ahead. What this means is if you're somebody that's thinking, well, I'd love to get away as soon as the world opens up again, as soon as we can book holidays and we know that we can travel again, we can do that for you as soon as possible. If you want to wait a few months and you're not sure about when you're looking to travel, but all of a sudden the world opens up in early June and you wanted to get away last minute, we can do that for you. If you're somebody that thinks, well, actually, I'm looking to book over the next couple of weeks because I want to make sure that I've got that holiday set in stone for later this year or into 2022, then we can book as far ahead as actually early 2023. So it's never too early to start looking ahead, and it's never too late to book that holiday either. So whether it's last minute or planning in advance, we've got you covered. We also offer maximum flexibility with all of our holidays, which really means that whatever we look at today, any of those packages holidays that we talk about on today's presentation can be tailor-made to your specifications. So if it isn't exactly to your liking, we can tweak it and tailor it. If it's extra nights, if it's different destinations, if it's looking to do a trip in reverse, if it's different hotels, we can look at it for you, no problem at all. We do like to say any destination and any date for any length of time. As long as the train goes there, so do we. Of course, we profess to be the experts for European rail travel and North American rail travel as well. Can be a bit difficult to plan your holidays sometimes when you look at the European rail network. I suppose it looks like a spider web of routes, and it might be difficult to know the most efficient way to get from A to B to C. So if you are a bit unsure of how to plan that holiday out, then do give us a call. We can talk you through your options. No trips too complicated for us. And as I say, we're really just going to scratch the surface today, looking at some of the holidays that we can offer. We have a huge rail product selection from luxury to pre and post cruise to multi-city to city break on our website. So if you don't see exactly what you like today, plenty more options for you online. We also currently have a maximum flexibility policy, which hopefully means you can book with peace of mind. But for any bookings up until 31st of March, you can postpone or change your travel dates up to 5 days prior to departure. So if you were to book a holiday with us this week or next week for June, July, August this year, and then as we got a bit closer to the time, you thought, well, actually, things haven't opened up quite as I hoped, you can push that back as far as you like and use the credit to put towards a new holiday for different dates. That goes for any bookings that we've taken over the last 10 months as well. So anybody on this webinar who has a reservation with us for a holiday, if you do decide that actually you wish to shift your dates or even shift your destination, you can do that up to 5 days prior to departure. What that means essentially is, you don't have to worry about losing any money if you can't travel or if you don't want to travel when your holiday is approaching, but you can lock in the best prices and the availability now with that peace of mind. Also, some more peace of mind for you here is when you are on one of our trips, you will always have 24-hour support from our global offices. So we have offices not just in London, but also in the US, in Australia, and in Canada, in Toronto as well. Basically means wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day, you should always be able to get through to one of our dedicated guest relations agents who can help you if you have any questions while you're on your trip. These are some of the direct rail partnerships that we have across Europe and North America. This is what allows us to book those tickets so far in advance. Also what allows us to be able to book them last minute, allows us to get preferential fares, and also allows us to make any special requests that you might have as well. So we have direct relationships with Deutsche Bahn in Germany, Renfe in Spain, Eurostar, of course, SBB in Switzerland, Trenitalia, NSB in Norway, and of course the two big North American operators, Amtrak in the US and Via Rail in Canada. Big question on everyone's lips right now as well is how are travel operators maintaining a safe environment? So for the rail operators, it kind of goes without saying, but of course they're requiring facial coverings in stations and on trains for passengers and staff currently. They are changing the seating configuration and have reduced the allocation on board as well to allow for social distancing. So for the majority of last year, a lot of trains were running at about 50% capacity to allow for that social distancing. That will start to increase, we expect, over the summer months this year. But at the moment, that allocation is still reduced. Of course, there's increased cleaning and sanitation on board all trains, and that will continue now. And contactless ticket control. So I think we're all getting used to a contactless world. I can't remember the last time I paid with cash for anything, and that'll be the same for our holidays as well. So those paper tickets of old will be a thing of the past, and it'll all be e-tickets on our tablets and phones now going forward, again, just for increased hygiene. Okay, so let's take a look at our first holiday today. This is one of our kind of entry-level holidays down to the south of France. So 6 nights, 7 days, 3 nights in Cannes, 3 nights in Nice. Always been a really popular trip of ours in any year. Really popular, usually between the months, as you can imagine, of April and late September. Nice relaxing time down on the Côte d'Azur there, seeing two of the glamorous, fashionable cities down on the French Riviera. So this holiday starts with the Eurostar from London to Paris, about a 2.5-hour journey into Paris, and then it's just a change of stations in Paris between Gare du Nord and Gare de Lyon. We provide you with the metro tickets, or we can give you a private transfer across the city, whatever you'd prefer. And then it's the high-speed TGV. It takes around 5.5 hours to get down to the south of France. We start you here with 3 nights in Nice, and then, as I say, you've got 3 nights in Cannes as well. Now, for me, in Cannes, you probably just need 1 full day to explore Cannes. We do include a guided tour of Cannes for you as well. It's got a lovely beach, of course, lovely fashionable district as well, as you can imagine. Nice kind of harbour to walk around, see some of the super yachts as well while you're there. But really, I think you only need 1 full day in Cannes. One of my recommendations, if you are taking a trip down to the Côte d'Azur, is to take the train that runs along the French Riviera. It's a fantastic way to experience views of the Mediterranean, and you can go and explore some of the other little towns and villages around the Côte d'Azur, places like Antibes or Juan-le-Pin, and also travel, if you want, all the way up to the border with Italy and spend some time in Menton, perhaps. It's only around €4.50 for a ticket on board the train that runs along the coast, and it's a real fantastic way to explore the area. So with 2 full days in Cannes, I'd perhaps use 1 to explore Cannes and 1 to explore the surrounding area. The same with Nice. You're going to have about 2.5 days in Nice. Nice has got a bit more to see than Cannes. It's got a fantastic old town. It's got what's known as the Castle Hill, which you can walk up to the top of and experience fantastic panoramic views of the area. It's also got a really lovely cathedral and national museum as well. And the Promenade d'Anglais itself is the promenade is much longer in Nice than it is in Cannes, and you can spend a good amount of time just sauntering along and enjoying the views of the Med. But you also get a day trip to Monaco. So on your spare day, there is a day trip to Monaco Monte Carlo, which is by train again. So you just take that regional service from Nice to Monaco, spend as much time as you like in Monaco, and then make your way back, and that's all included in the cost. If you did want to extend the trip, we did book a customer recently who did 3 nights Cannes, 3 nights Nice, and 3 nights in Menton, which is that town just on the border with Italy, which offers a little bit of different culture and some different food as well. It's a really nice way to extend it to maybe 9 nights if you're looking for something a bit longer. But this is a really nice kind of week's break, especially if you're not looking to travel too far, especially if you're not looking to spend too long on board the trains. This really is all about the destinations, and you don't lose too much of your time on those train journeys. So 7 days, this one starting from 799 per person. Lovely view of Nice here. You can see that area with the trees and the hills. That's the Castle Hill, where you can climb up to the top and get some fantastic views, as I say, of the Mediterranean. And Cannes here, we can all be very envious of the super yachts in Cannes that I imagine, I can't say for certain, but I imagine that very few of us will ever be able to afford. But 2 beautiful destinations, perhaps, if you're looking to get away this summer. Another option in France is to travel down to Provence. This is a really popular one of ours because it bases you in one destination and we then offer day trips out and to around the surrounding area. So again, you're not spending too much time traveling. A lot of your time is actually sightseeing and exploring the area. So this is 5 nights in Avignon with 3 day trips to the surrounding Provence area. So again, starts with the Eurostar from London to Paris, and then it's the high-speed TGV again down to Avignon. Only about 3.5 hours, I believe, down to Avignon. So a faster journey, of course, than traveling all the way down to the French Riviera. You're going to get 2 full days in Avignon, and then, as I say, 3 day trips out to the surrounding areas. The first one is a trip out to the Luberon villages and the Pont du Gard. So this is a small group tour, around 8 people maximum, I think, which is important at the moment. I know to a lot of people that they're not going to be traveling with crowds of people. So this is maximum of 8 people. It takes you on a tour through the beautiful Provence countryside. The Luberon area is characterized by it's a series of kind of strikingly picturesque hilltop villages dating back around 1,000 years, and you'll take a scenic tour through some of these villages, Roussillon and Gordes as well, before visiting that spectacular Pont du Gard as well. We've got a great picture of that in a moment, great photo opportunity. This is a full day tour, as I say, exploring the Luberon area and the Pont du Gard, and then back to Avignon for the evening. It's a fully guided tour as well. Second tour will be a half-day trip to Orange and then wine tasting at the Châteauneuf-du-Pape winery. So for any of you wine connoisseurs, this will definitely be a highlight, I'm sure. So you spend the morning in Orange, which has a great Roman history to it. It has one of the best preserved theatres in the Roman Empire, actually, and has a fantastic triumphal arch as well, which is a great photo opportunity. So you spend half a day in Orange, taking in some of the culture, some of the sites, again with a guide, and then you'll be taken on a scenic drive through the vineyards of Châteauneuf-du-Pape and some wine tasting in one of the wineries there. The third trip that we offer is not a guided tour, but it's a trip out to Nîmes and Arles, and we provide you with the rail tickets to get you from Avignon to Nîmes to Arles and back to Avignon. And it's a fully flexible day, so you can spend as much time as you like in both of these destinations. It's all included in the price. Both of these cities actually have a Roman influence again. So Nîmes itself, I believe, I think it can boast to have 2 of the most treasured Roman monuments in the world. One called the Maison Carrée, which is an ancient Roman temple. It also has a huge double-tiered amphitheatre as well. And it's only about half an hour, I think, from Avignon. And then it's only 25 minutes from Nîmes on to Arles. Arles is known as the provincial Roman capital of the area. And again, there's another spectacular amphitheatre there. And it also has the Fondation Vincent van Gogh, which has one of the best collections. I'm told, I haven't seen it myself, I won't lie, but I'm told that it has one of the best collections of Van Gogh's work, and his work was influenced very much by the area as well. So certainly worth a visit in Arles, and perhaps stay in Arles then for maybe some dinner before traveling back to Avignon for your final day. So as I say, some fantastic day trips to be had here. Also 2 days in Avignon, of course, a famous historical walled city itself. So yeah, nice kind of 5 night, 6 day. If you're just looking for a short break as your first getaway, £909 per person for 6 days, 5 nights, including all those tours. So I mentioned the Pont du Gard, so you'll get some great views of the Pont du Gard, some great photo opportunities on the tour as well. And I mentioned you'll be traveling through the Luberon, and you'll get to see some of the lavender fields and that great history as you travel through the French countryside. Also, did just want to touch upon our hotels. So, of course, we include accommodation in every destination that you stay in, with bed and breakfast in all. And the majority of our packages tend to start with 4-star accommodation. The hotel that we use for the 5 nights in Avignon is called the Avignon Grand Hotel, perfectly located, just a few steps from the Palais du Pape and the Pont Saint-Benazet. Has a lovely common area, outdoor area, some lovely gardens, armchairs, a bar area outside, ideal to relaxing, and also has a restaurant that opens out onto the city there. You can see, you can have dinner in the outside and sample in that wonderful atmosphere that Avignon has. So it's a really, really nice hotel, one of the nicest 4 stars that we have, and that's included in the price for you. And we offer hotels, just to mention, anywhere between really a 3-star all the way through to 5-star luxury. So it really is up to you what type of hotel, what category of hotel, what style of hotel you're looking for. All of our hotels are handpicked by our product managers who go out and visit and meet the owners, so we can really give you that first-hand experience and listen to what your needs are, and then hopefully suggest the best hotel for you. But this is one of our most popular ones in Avignon. It's called the Avignon Grand Hotel. So we're going to travel into Spain now, a bit further south, and look at our Barcelona and Valencia holiday. Again, you're going to see a similar theme. It's the Eurostar from London to Paris. It's the same change of stations in Paris from Gare du Nord to Gare de Lyon, and then the high-speed TGV from Paris all the way through to Barcelona. It's about a 6.5-hour journey. Departs Paris just after 2:15 and arrives into Barcelona shortly before 9 p.m. For those of you that perhaps would struggle to get to Paris for midday in order to be able to make that connection, we can include night in Paris, of course, and a lot of our travelers, a lot of our customers do include a night or 2 in Paris en route just to extend this particular trip. And you can do that, of course, with any of our holidays. If you wanted to do that before traveling to Avignon or the Côte d'Azur, we can add a couple of nights in Paris on the way there or way back if you would like us to. But this particular trip starts with 3 nights in Barcelona, 2 full days. We do offer a tour of the Sagrada Familia with tower access in Barcelona as well. I actually have a brother that lives in Barcelona. I've been numerous times. I've never ever seen the inside of the Sagrada Familia because I've never been smart enough to book a ticket in advance. And the queues are always round the block, as you can imagine. So you do need to skip the line or a tour to get you inside the Sagrada Familia to give you those incredible views. I mean, the architecture from the outside is spectacular. My brother tells me that really you haven't witnessed it until you go inside. I've never managed to do it myself. So we do include a tour of the Sagrada Familia and to get inside and tower access as part of the holiday. Barcelona, of course, city of contrasts. It's got that fantastic beach, the man-made beach actually that you can relax upon, and then it's got that classic Gothic architecture and the Park Güell and the Sagrada Familia, as I've mentioned, all this famous Gaudi architecture. And it's also got some fantastic hills and walks that you can take to see some of the surrounding countryside, and also get some spectacular views over the top of the city. So really nice place to spend a couple of days. And then we take you down to Valencia for four nights, 3 full days. Valencia, famed for its temperate climate, fantastic food. It's the home of paella. Again, it's a contrasting city. It's got some fantastic historical sites, some amazing cathedrals, but it's also very well known for its arts and sciences. There's some fantastic galleries and museums around the city as well. If you did want to explore the coast, you can take the train to Sitges as well. It's a bit quieter. If some of the beaches in Barcelona or Valencia can get a bit busy, you can travel to Sitges, which sometimes is a bit quieter. And if you did wish to explore that coastal area while you were there, just let us know and we can book some train tickets and some day trips for you. A possible extension to this trip as well, you can see here you've got the flight icon. If you're thinking, well, to be honest, I'm on a Railbookers webinar and the last thing I want to do is fly anywhere, we can of course take you back on any of our holidays by train. And this particular trip links very well with Madrid. So Valencia to Madrid is just 1 hour and 45 minutes by train. So you could happily head off to Madrid and have a couple of nights in Madrid before traveling back via Montpellier, and maybe a night in Montpellier, then back via Paris to London. So if you did want to travel back via train and you didn't want to go back on the same route via Barcelona again, you could go to Madrid and then into southern France and come back that way, and maybe take this from an 8-day to a 11 or 12-day holiday and add a bit more to it. So these prices are based on the flight back, but if you are interested in coming back by train and sampling a few more destinations en route, just let us know and we'll be able to plot the best itinerary home for you. Just like to mention as well the hotels again. So of course we do suggest hotels, and we have hotels that are built into our holidays. But if you were looking for something extra special, there is always the option to upgrade. And don't think that you have to upgrade across the entire holiday. You know, a lot of companies out there will offer you a 3-star package, a 4-star package, or a 5-star package. If you were traveling to Barcelona and Valencia and you wanted a luxury hotel in Barcelona because you were celebrating an anniversary, for instance, but in Valencia, you were happy to keep the price down and just stay in one of our more standard, you know, centrally located, just clean, comfortable hotels, we can mix and match from a 3-star all the way through to a 5-star luxury for you. It's completely up to you. This particular hotel is the NH Collection Grand Hotel Calderon in Barcelona, which is an upgrade. It's got a fantastic bar, rooftop bar with views over the city. And if you are looking for something a little bit special in a particular destination, then just let us know. Of course, if you're looking for luxury throughout, then we can offer that as well. But don't think that just because you want luxury in one destination, you're going to have luxury elsewhere. It's completely up to you. And that goes with the train journeys as well. If you just wish to upgrade on one leg of the journey because you've heard that it's a really scenic route, or maybe it's one of the longer journeys on the holiday and you'd like that extra legroom for that particular journey, then of course we can just upgrade you on 1 or 2 routes if you wish. So it really is up to you. We really can mix and match and tailor make the perfect holiday. Lovely view of Valencia here. Like I say, fantastic climate in Valencia. People often ask, you know, when it's the best time of the year to take these holidays, when is the weather nice but the crowd's not so vast. I always say kind of if you can go on what they would call shoulder season, which would perhaps be late September, it's a really nice time to go. It does get, you know, quite busy in June, July, August, but, you know, to be honest, the temperature will be great at that time of year. You know, other times of year, nice times of year to go, April and May if you can. Obviously, it's going to be a bit difficult this year to get out in April and May, but I think August and late September are really nice times to travel down to Spain, especially September time when it gets slightly cooler, still fantastic temperature, especially for us here in the UK. But also you might see those crowds start to dwindle slightly outside of the peak summer months. Just a bit of a tip there for you. So carrying on further into Spain, we have an Andalusian Explorer holiday. This is probably our most popular trip in Spain, actually. This includes flights in and out of Malaga. We have a night in Malaga either side of your 6 nights in Andalusia. Malaga is the best place to base you if you're going to fly in. So you have 1 night in Malaga, and then you'll have 6 nights in Andalusia, exploring Granada, Cordoba, and Seville, and then it'll be back to Malaga for 1 final night before your flight home. Again, we try and include a lot of tours here for you to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. If you are traveling down to Granada, you're going to want to see the Alhambra Palace. If you're traveling to Seville, you are going to want to see the Alcazar and the cathedral. And we make sure that we include skip the line tickets and tours of both those monuments for you as well. We also include a flamenco show in Cordoba. Couple of other pointers here for you. So again, if you're thinking, well, I don't want to fly in and out of Malaga, but I'd really love to explore southern Spain, a couple of really good options for you. So you can take the train, as we've seen, down to Barcelona, and then there is a direct service from Barcelona to Cordoba, and then you can explore Granada and Seville and Malaga if you wish. And then from Seville, there's a direct connection back up to Madrid. So you could travel up to Madrid, have a couple of nights in Madrid, and then travel up from Madrid back to London by France. So again, you could extend this out from a 9-day holiday to perhaps a 2-week holiday by incorporating Barcelona and Madrid into this as well if you didn't want to fly. And a great extension to this trip, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, is we can see how close there the tip of southern Spain is to the tip of northern Africa and Morocco. And actually, there's a short train journey down to Algeciras and then a ferry across to Tangier port. And then from Tangier, it's very easy to take the train to Fez, Ronda, Casablanca, all the way down to Marrakesh. There's even a sleeper train that runs from Tangiers down to Marrakesh. So if anybody has perhaps wanted to explore Morocco and never thought of doing that by train, it's an option for you. Obviously, it takes a lot longer than if you're going to fly down there, and it does add a bit more to the cost. Of course, flying down to Morocco is going to be a lot cheaper than it is taking the train. But if you wanted to pair up, you know, southern Spain with a bit of adventure in Morocco, we actually have a Moroccan Explorer holiday on our website for you to take a look at. But anyway, I digress slightly. We're looking at the Andalusian Explorer here. As I mentioned, so In Granada, you're going to want to see the Alhambra, and we include a skip the line tour of the Alhambra. Undoubtedly the most popular attraction in the city and one of the most beloved monuments in all of Spain. Really allows you to immerse yourself, I suppose, in Spain's Moorish past and get a feel for that culture and tradition. There's also some incredible gardens for you to explore whilst you're in the Alhambra. So this is a guided tour, but you are then given as much free time after the guided tour to explore the Alhambra and the surrounding area as well. And this really is a must when you're down in this part of the world. Also have, as I mentioned, a couple of nights in Cordoba. Cordoba has a really, really fantastic old town. And of course, it's famous for its mosque, the Mezquita, which is a must visit when you're in Cordoba. Also has a really, really vibrant nightlife as well. The evenings are really fun and there's lots of entertainment around. There's a nice area called the Plaza de las Tendias, which has lots of excellent bars and restaurants. And that's where the flamenco show will be as well. So really nice, vibrant evenings to be spent in Cordoba as well. One of my favorite parts of Spain to visit, I must admit. And then finally, we mentioned Seville. So we give you an early access tour, so you miss the crowds at the spectacular Royal Palace, the Alcazar, and also to the magnificent Seville Cathedral as well. This is home to a lot of the riches that from Spanish colonialism, over the ages, and also has the tomb of Christopher Columbus. So a lot of history there. Also, one thing in Seville I would mention is probably the best tapas I've ever had in Seville. So if you are, the food in the whole of the Andalusian region is wonderful. But if you're saving your tapas for a particular destination, save it for Seville. Best tapas I've ever had. So again, just another tip for you there. Okay, and finally now let's have a look at an Italian holiday, specifically Naples and Sicily. So Sicily's become a lot more popular over the last few years with ourselves. We've started to build a lot more of our holidays around Sicily, and this is one of the most popular ones at the moment, Naples and Sicily. So this starts with flights in and also has flights back from Naples. Again, you can travel by train into Naples, and I'll talk you through a couple of options in just a moment. But this particular trip and the price includes flights into Naples, one night in Naples, then you have a full day to explore Naples, because that evening you'll be taking a overnight ferry from Naples across to Palermo. So you'll have a private 2-berth cabin booked for you. You can have a lovely dinner on board. There's an a la carte restaurant on board the ferry that serves really, really nice food. So you can have a great dinner on board and then hopefully a comfortable night's sleep on board the ferry down to Palermo. You have 2 nights in Palermo, the Sicilian capital there. Quite a unique city. It's got a lot of Norman and Arabic influences, a lot of Norman and Arabic churches, a lot of frescoes and mosaics. Got a really, really striking Norman palace called the Palazzo de Normandy as well, which has a really famous chapel, which is decorated ornately with kind of beautiful mosaics and Arabic style decorations. And also, this is probably the best place to experience some really, really great Sicilian gastronomy as well. Really famous for its food as well, Palermo. So you're going to have 2 nights there, and then you'll have 3 nights in Taormina, a really beautiful coastal destination. The landscape really dominated by the peak of Mount Etna, of course, an active volcano still, and we can include a half-day tour of Mount Etna should you wish. It's something that we've only recently managed to find a partner to do. It's been quite difficult, but we've got a partner on board who will take you out to Mount Etna, and actually some of our customers have experienced this, have said it's been the highlight of their trip, actually taking a half-day trip up to Mount Etna. So it's not included in the price, but we can add it on for you, and something that I would highly recommend. Taormina is also famous for its Greco-Roman theatre. I believe it dates back to around about the 7th, 8th century BC, and it's one of the most celebrated ruins in Sicily. We've got a fantastic picture of it in a moment, and it's got great views over the bay as well, and over the city itself. So, while you're in Taormina for those 3 nights, 2 days, a couple of tips would definitely to take the excursion out to Mount Etna and make sure you get out to the Greco-Roman theatre. Really is a sight to behold. After your time in Sicily, you have a really unique trip back to Naples, actually. You travel from Taormina to Messina by train, and then the train itself boards a ferry, which takes you across to the Italian mainland, and then the train disembarks the ferry and continues on to Naples. I think there's only 2 currently in Europe, one in Scandinavia and one between Sicily and mainland Italy. So there's only two what they call kind of train boats or train ferries in Europe. If you take this holiday, you get to experience one of them, and it's a real nice way to travel. Um, so like I said, once you get back to Naples, you'll fly back. But if you did wish to take the train, there are a couple of options for you. So what you could do is you could pair this holiday with one of our Italy via the Alps trips. So we have for instance, we have a Venice via the Alps holiday, which is London to Paris, Paris to Geneva, one night in Geneva, and then a trip through the Swiss Alps, through the Simplon Pass, all the way through to Venice, a couple of nights in Venice, and then take the train direct down to Naples to begin this particular trip. You could do that including Florence, you could do that including Rome, you could do it however you please, but it's a really nice route via what's known as the Simplon Pass between Geneva and Milan and Geneva and Venice that will take you around the Swiss Alps. You get some great views of the Alps on that journey. And on the way back, you can take a train from Naples up to Milan. You can have a night or two in Milan, and then there's a high-speed TGV from Milan all the way through to Paris. And then you can get back from Paris to London all in the one day. So there are a couple of options for you to get to and from Naples with some really nice scenery and, explore some different destinations. And again, taking this perhaps from an 8-day holiday up to maybe a 2-week holiday if you were looking to extend. So a couple of pictures here for you. There's that Greco-Roman theatre at the bottom there in Taormina, and you can see those amazing views over the bay and the Straits of Messina. That's what you'll be travelling across on board the train, which will be on board the boat. And finally, here's one of the cathedrals I mentioned in Palermo, just to give you an idea of some of the stunning architecture that you'll be able to witness when you're in Palermo. Okay, so seem to have whistled through those, to be honest, those 5 holidays. I do hope you managed to take it all in. As I say, that really is just scratching the surface of what we can offer, in France, Spain and Italy. We've got hundreds of different variations on those trips, different destinations for you to visit, different length of trips, anything from kind of 3 or 4 night city breaks all the way through to 14, 15, 16 night holidays on the website. So railbookers.co.uk, I'm sure plenty of you maybe found this webinar via the website, but if you haven't been onto the website and you're looking for a bit more inspiration, please do take a look, or do just give us a call. Perhaps not now because our lines have been closed now for 4 minutes, but not many people have been taking too many holidays over the last 12 months. Our travel consultants are really kind of chomping at the bit just to talk to people about traveling again. So you don't have to be ready to commit. If you're just looking for somebody to talk to about a potential itinerary, you want some ideas, some suggestions, you're looking for a bit more inspiration, you just want to have a chat about what's possible this year or next year, and don't hesitate to give us a call. They're on hand to give you as much advice as you need and to help you plan that first holiday when we can get out and about again. So I'm going to open it up now to some questions. I'll just mute myself for a couple of minutes, and then if there's anything that you can think of that you'd like to know, anything I haven't covered, just drop them into the questions box, and I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes, everybody. Thanks ever so much. Okay, thanks everyone. Sorry about that. Thanks everyone. Yep, so we have had a few questions come through. First one came through from Paul. He's asked, if booking for 2023, how much deposit is required and when is the balance due? Good question, Paul. And funny you should say 2023. We just took a booking before I came on to this webinar for someone looking to travel in 2023 down to Italy. In I think it was June or July, going to Sorrento. So people are looking to book that far in advance, and we can facilitate booking holidays all the way into 2023 now. So to answer your question, it varies, but the standard deposit amount, if it tends to be all by train, is £250 per person. And then the final balance is always due 90 days prior to travel. Now that can change sometimes depending on the trip. If you do take one of the private luxury trains like the Orient Express, for instance, or the Golden Eagle Trans-Siberian holiday, then the deposits can change. And if you do include a flight in the holiday, then the deposits can be slightly different as well, because the deposits on flights are different to how they work with the trains. But ordinarily, for the holidays that we looked at today, if you're doing them all by train, it would be £250 per person, Paul, and then you wouldn't have to pay it, the remaining balance until 90 days before you depart. So hopefully that clears that one up for you. Got a question from Jane also asking if there's any other destinations in Sicily that perhaps you could explore other than just the two that we mentioned. Good question, because it was only, I suppose we only had 5 nights, didn't we, on Sicily? So two others that spring to mind, and I think we've got so many holidays, but I think there may be one online that does include a bit more. You could travel to Catania, which is an ancient port city on the east coast of Sicily. Again, kind of close to Taormina, in the foots of Mount Etna. And also you could stop in Messina as well, which is where you pick up the ferry to travel back across to the mainland, where the train boards the ferry. So you could spend a bit of time in the harbour city of Messina before travelling back to mainland Italy as well. So perhaps Catania and Messina as well. And we did have a question in one of the previous webinars about whether you could perhaps, travel down to Amalfi from Naples. I thought it was a really good question, because there's it'd be a really nice extension to that Sicilian holiday actually, which would be to travel around the Amalfi coast as well. There's a train called the Circumvesuviana, which means to circumvent Vesuvius, to travel around Vesuvius, and it's an independently operated train line that runs from Naples all the way around the Amalfi coast to Sorrento and Amalfi, and you can even take day trips over to Capri. So there are plenty of options on Sicily as well, but you could also perhaps stay an extra few nights on the Amalfi coast before traveling over to Sicily. Question from Derek asking if you can request your own hotels, or if you've already booked your own accommodation, do you need to book the hotels with us? It's a very, very good question, Derek, one we get quite a lot actually. So you don't have to book all your accommodation with us. If you're staying with friends in certain destinations, of course, and you don't need hotel accommodation, and that's absolutely fine. We can't just sell the rail though. So we do have to do it as a package. So you would need to include hotel accommodation in at least one destination. It's just the way that our partnerships work. And quite often you'll probably need pre and post accommodation if you're traveling relatively long distances. But we do find that, if customers don't have accommodation, 99% of our customers will book all of their accommodation with ourselves. If you do have your own particular hotels that you've seen, then by all means mention them to us. We'll see if we do have a partnership with them. We'll do our best to book them for you if we can. We can't book every single hotel in existence, unfortunately, but we will try and accommodate you in a style of hotel that's as close as possible to the one that you was looking at. So it's a very good question. Obviously we use the hotels that we have a relationship with predominantly because we know the quality, we visited them, we know the area, the location, we often know the staff as well, which always helps if it's a special occasion. If there's any requests that you might have, we can always pick up the phone, give them a quick call, and use our contacts to try and make it extra special for you. But very, very good question. Okay, and I think that was it. today. Just 3 questions. Hopefully that means that I cleared everything up for you. Hopefully it doesn't mean that I confused you too much in your but if there is anything that we didn't cover that does come to you, if you do want any more information on any of these holidays or any of the holidays that you see online, then please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give us a call, like I say. So really it just ends with me by saying thank you ever so much for joining me today, and I really do appreciate your time. I know it's been a really difficult year for everybody. I do hope you're well. You know, I hope you've got some positivity and optimism for this year. I do hope I've offered you a little bit of inspiration, but mainly, you know, I do hope that you're staying safe, and we can, you know, be in contact with you whenever it is that you're looking to make that next trip away. So thanks everybody for your time. Stay safe, be well, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.